Good times won't last forever. Hard times can be your friend. Can't trust nobody. Be where you've been. Everyone's a critic. Critics just pretend that they're the only one. Truth that lies within.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the GPI Fundraiser. It's my pleasure to announce that the buffet is open. So if you want to go buffet, if that's a verb, line up, achieve. It's delicious. Scott Morris, everybody, is going to keep playing. Thanks for being here, everyone. I also want to encourage you to visit our photo booth. There are props, and before you mess up your makeup on food, maybe you want to get your picture taken. I don't know, just a suggestion. Why don't we count down? Let's start our hybrid event. Everybody, can I get a warm GPI round? Giving you the lay of the land, please feel free to continue grabbing buffet things, making yourself comfy, looking at the silent auction items, taking a photo in the photo booth, getting a beverage, climbing a boulder, whatever you want. You're going to have a great time tonight. Okay. So, this is called an evening UpSTrEaM. And the reason why we call it that is, how many people here have heard of STEM, S-T-E-M? Right? Okay, a smattering. I'll explain it for those of you who don't know. So STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And we call it STREAMs because we add art, recreation, and skill building. STREAMs! Thank you. Thank you for your hearty applause. This is only the beginning of the puns that will happen all night long. Thanks again to Scott Morris for our pre-show music. And a big thank you to our sponsors. We have a big leg up. You can already tell on our audience-o-meter over here how far we've come with our fundraising. We're at $39,700. Very exciting. Thank you to our sponsors. At the Glacier Peak level, we have VECU, Hampton Lumber, and Washington State University Extension. And at the White Horse level, we have Mir, Silva Seed, and the 3 Grands. So please, round of applause for our sponsors to get us kicked off. Tonight is going to be fun for us. And they were like, we don't even need to have fun yet. Here comes the money. Get those kids up the mountain. So tonight we're just gathering a big pot of money to keep GPI going. We're going to have a really good time. And I also want to point out that we're leveraging technology. So we're a hybrid event, which means many people are in person, many people are at home. And we have a PayB app, which your paddle number is all you need. If you want to pay by check tonight, you can do it the old-fashioned way and we will take your money. If you want to pay by swiping your credit card tonight, we can do that too. But basically what the PayB app allows us to do is just aggregate it all together. So we're a team building this pot of money right here in person and also all over the world. I bet we have people tuning in from Australia. Good day, mate. Anyway, everything is safe and secure, we swear. We've been using PayB for years, so they're doing great with us. And if you need help with PayB or doing anything, we have volunteers back at the silent auction table who can help out. And really just if you look for anybody with a name tag that has staff or volunteer or event committee, they can probably help you. And I want to announce and just help you know, for those of you who are like hotly bidding for things on our silent auction table, we're going to end the silent auction at intermission. It will be very obvious when we have intermission. And I will announce that the silent auction is closing. So just so you know, that's your last chance. So if you're in a bidding war, your strategic time is intermission. And I also want to encourage you to stick around for our last event. We have a couple of fun games that we play. We're not really allowed to gamble because there's like laws about it. But we can play games with money, and we have a really fun game with a really big prize at the end of the night, a very one-of-a-kind prize just for GPI. So we're looking forward to a great night, and let's see. Okay, and I am going to welcome up the star of the show, GPI's very own UpSTREaM.
Thank you, everyone, for coming tonight. It's amazing to see the group we have gathered today. Okay, there we go. It's been been 9 years since the OSO slide that was the impetus. We began our first programs 9 years ago. And so this is tonight, it is really a celebration and an amazing that we have made it as a nonprofit where we're at in the community service that we are doing. 9 years. A lot of that is due to the community in this room. So you can look around, you can think, you can talk to people. We have succeeded due to you in this room and been able to survive. Thank you very much. Tonight, we'd like to honor the land itself and the indigenous people shaping it for millennia. Their continued care today and into the future. GPI lives with Soxuatl, Stillaguamish, Tulalip, Upper Skagit, Swinomish, Duwamish, and more tribal lands. It's important that we acknowledge this. It's also important we take a look back, and as a society, we take a look into the future about where we want to go. 1,000 years past, and 1,000 years into the future, thinking about that and how we can play a role within Glacier Peak Institute. So thank you for joining us tonight. I'm going to hand it back to Beth.
Thanks. So far, we're about to start the fundraiser. Wait, it's the fundraiser. It's all right. Look, smooth transition to a new thing. Okay, so GPI, I don't know if anybody follows Glacier_Peak_Institute on Instagram.com, but you can. And if you did, you would note that the staff is working hard to be very punny while also sharing cute pictures of all the things going on. So go ahead and follow at Glacier_Peak_Institute on Instagram.com. But tonight, we are going to acknowledge the punniest puns from the last couple of years on our social media. So we're having a fundraiser bracket. We've had 7 years of fundraisers, and this is our first fundraiser. So you are going to vote, and our online folks are going to vote too, between number 1 and number 2. So right now it's 1 versus 2. Oak is odd, and so Oak is going to read number 1. And I am even, and I'm going to read number 2. Okay, Oak. Are you ready?
It's on the screen.
Is it on the screen? Oh, okay. Lauren, can you sign that?
I'll do it real quick.
Okay. Technical difficulties. I'm going to read number 1 instead. Okay, so you understand your job as the audience is to vote on the best of these 2 puns. Pun number 1. It's a picture of a mushroom, by the way. Why wouldn't you want me in your front lawn? I'm a fun guy, and I don't take up much room. Some crumbs. Think about your crumbs. Think about what you want as the best pun, and then we're going to vote. Okay. And now, read number 2.
I don't know if I can read it as a dad.
No, it's this one.
Oh, that's right. So it's a picture. We're doing eDNA sampling on the edge of the bank where we're trying to have youth discover what species are in the river. It's really about empowering the youth. So we got a picture of girls sampling here. Getting currency from the bank. Which bank? The UpSTREaM bank? No, the Gene bank.
Okay, so you're voting between number 1, mushrooms, and number 2, wow, okay. So everyone in favor of number 1, put up your hand, cheer wildly, give me an indication. Okay, voting for number 2. Okay, I'm going to call it for number 1 in the room. How about online? Brett, anyone voting on? Online votes for number 1. The consensus is number 1 is the winner. Angelina, board member and Vanna White cheerleader. Okay, and now we're going to vote between number 3 and number 4. Aren't you glad you came to the fundraiser? Okay, number 3. Let's go back to us.
All right, so number 3, what we have is a picture of a GPI person walking with a student And with the fish, it was like we were doing nutrient enhancement, where we threw a dead fish out into the woods to recreate salmon spawning and give back to the forest more nutrients. Do you ever try to think of a fish pond and just flounder? Well, the bait is over. We were going to leave it to salmon else.
Wow. These puns are hot and heavy. Okay. Number 4 is a photo of an adorable child, thumbs up, wearing winter gear, standing next to a bullseye that this child, I assume, has hit. The pun is, time to take a bow and an arrow. After hitting this bullseye today in the archery range, we know that pun was a little far-fetched. Okay, so that's number 4 is the archery pun. So everyone in favor, remember online you can put 2. Everyone in favor of number 3, the fish pun. Hands up, cheer. Okay. And number 4, the archery pun. Hands up, cheer. Okay. Wow, the enthusiasm is really flagging a little bit, but that's okay. We're going to get our stride. So, how about online, Brent? How's online? Are they voting? Virtual audience is a tie. Okay. I'm going to give it to the 3s. I feel like we got enough 3s. So, we're going to come back to this bracket. We are only in the initial round. Thank you. Your pun delivery is excellent. Okay, and now, we are about to be treated with a video from one of our youth. Let's see, where do we go? Okay, now I just want you to know that this is Stefan's first interview. He's in 4th grade. We're going to watch it over here on this big screen. And GPI welcomes all kinds of families and works with kids of all sorts of behaviors and backgrounds. And this is a really sweet video with Della and her son Steven. Stefan.
My name's Stefan Curtis, and I've been going to GPI for a year now, and
that's good enough. My name is Della Bryant, and Stefan Curtis is my little guy. So, for my own personal experience, Stefan has been with me for 3 years. And when he first came to me, he was very shy, didn't talk to anybody. And part of his involvement with GPI is giving him a lot of confidence in himself. And he'll talk to just about anybody now. And what really shocked me the most was when they took an overnight camping trip over the summer. And I did not think Stefan would sleep in a tent by himself, but he did. He did not have anybody in his tent with him. He stayed the night in a tent when they went camping all by himself. So one thing I would really like people to know and get out there, the GPI program works with all children, whether they have disabilities or the things that they teach the children about the outdoors, things you can make, like they work with the food bank. They teach the kids about plants, and they even work the garden and the greenhouse in the summer, and they get to pick what they've grown and cook it. The kids getting these outdoor activities for children, I think, is highly important. And to have the knowledge of the GPI, the staff with GPI, is great for the kids because they have learned so much. And I just like to see it keep going and more kids get involved.
mountain biking.
Mountain biking's your favorite?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
Because, I don't know.
Do you like to go fast?
Yeah.
Do you like riding on the trails?
Mm-hmm. And I like getting, yeeted.
Getting what?
Yeeted off in the front. when I accidentally press the wrong one, like the front one,
Oh, when you press the front brake, it makes you go.
and accidentally like press down.
Well, what else do you like to do? What's your next favorite?
Hiking.
Hiking?
You run down a hill too. You climb up and then you see like everything.
Do you get to look out over the valleys? And...
Yeah. And then like you can run down. Well, I don't think so.
You don't think you run down?
Then you'll fall and get yeeted.
So what's meant the most to me from GPI is the confidence that it has given Stefan. It has taught him to do things on his own. He's becoming a lot more independent, and when he tells me that we've spent too much time together, that hurts. But it's good for him, because now he's able to make that break away from me and give him the tools that he needs to grow within himself. I'm looking forward to summer when they go on another camp out. I really am. Because him being able to be that independent and be away from me for a night and do things on his own is highly important to me. Because it's just him and I. And so him to have this opportunity and learn the things that he does and the respect of nature.
Why don't you go and wave, Stefan?
Come here and wave to the camera. Over here and wave to the camera.
Oh my gosh.
Because GPI is more about the outdoors and respecting the land and teaching survival skills, because you never know when you're going to need them. And a lot of the other activities they have, especially up here in Darrington, we don't have a lot of activities for the kids. We do have sports.
And she does look old.
Even being involved in GPI, he still has his time for sports. And he plays every sport there is. I'd like a break, but I don't get a break. But the respect that they teach the children is highly important. And I think more kids need to be involved in that, because they do learn so much about the outdoors and caring for others, like with the food bank and what the food bank is about, the greenhouse, being self-sustainable. I think it's very important, Stefan.
Thanks so much, you two.
Thank you very much for having us.
Hey everybody. Okay, we're having some technical difficulties in the room. I don't have a mic on. That's fine. They can hear you. Okay. I'm just talking to the online audience. We're going to talk to everyone now. Okay. Hey everybody, we have some technical difficulties. So we're going to play this video again with sound in the room. I hope you enjoyed Bella and Stefan at home, and I hope you enjoy it the second time around. Thanks for your patience. Hybrid events are so fun. Also, thanks to everyone who's been donating already. Chris and Ellen, thank you in the online sphere. I can see it backstage. We're excited and we're grateful you're here. in 4th grade. Way to go. I was not on camera yet in 4th grade. Okay. It is now my pleasure to welcome to the stage someone who also cares a lot about the outdoors and getting kids outdoors and lifelong learnables, an adventurer, a writer, a speaker. I'm talking about you, Carl. Please welcome to the stage, Carl Kruger!
Well, first I'd like to say thank you. I'm honored to be here tonight. I have to say, there's literally nothing in my life that would have indicated that I'd be invited to events like this to talk in front of a whole bunch of people. I've been dirtbagging it my entire life. Running around out in the mountains, climbing things, paddling, sailing, delivering yachts, you name it, everything outdoors. And the thing that has led me forward through all of this has been this need, this desire to connect to nature and connect to the land. I run a sailing charter company called Kruger Sea, based loosely around Orcas Island. Sail 3,000 to 6,000 miles a year, taking people out, getting them dirty, breaking them. One of the things that I've learned through all the years of running these sailing charters is that people have a way of choosing their own best therapy. They might not know it when they sign up to come out sailing with me, but we will break you. That's what happens. People leave changed. I'd like to tell a quick story about a young woman that I worked with a bunch of years ago. Her name was Sunny. She's a lummy young woman. I think she was 14 years old. And this was an at-risk group of kids, but I think we had 14 of them on this program that we were running at Orcas Island. And the program was not going well. I mean, full transparency, was not going well, and we needed an intervention. And what I realized is we need to get these kids on the water and stat right now. And so we completely changed up the program. We got down on the beach, we're digging clams, got the canoes out, we're building a raft. And I was in damage control, right? You know, I was running all the other instructors, and I was running everything. I just had a mad scene in front of me, right? And this young woman behind me was tapping me on the shoulder the whole time, and I didn't notice because I was so busy with all these fires that I was putting out here. And a little while later, one of the other instructors came up to me and said, "Hey, Carl, you gotta go check in with her." And so I went over, her name was Sunny, and I went over and checked in with her, and I was like, "Hey, Sunny, you know, I'm sorry we couldn't connect earlier, but it sounds like you have something you want to talk about." And at first she was kind of pissed off and, you know, kind of closed in, and eventually she said, "You know, I really want to go for a paddle." And I was like, "Great, there's a canoe, it's got our name on it, let's go." So we got the paddles out, we got the PFDs on. I gave her we have this whole program where we gave all the kids a little instant, little camera, like one of those little throwaway cameras. This was some years ago. No devices were allowed in the program. So we get in the canoe and we start paddling, and she let me know that she had never been in a canoe ever in her life, right? But she was drawn to it. She desperately wanted to get that paddle in her hand. And so we get out on the water, and I've done a lot of paddling in my life, right? Like I was also raised, I actually don't even remember the first time I had a paddle pressed into my hands. My dad was an Algonquin man, and I was raised in the paddling culture in the Northeast. And so I've been paddling a long time, and I've had a lot of people sit and bow for me. And I will tell you that girl, within seconds of taking that paddle in her hands, knew what to do. She paddled better than most white people I've ever been with. It was amazing. It was amazing. That girl changed in the 2 hours we were on the water, just 2. I took her over to those rocks, we saw a bunch of seals, and we saw some pups, and she's tripping all over herself, trying to get her camera so she can take pictures. Just lit her up. And years later, I got some emails from her, and she's taking a pretty good path, and I know that day actually helped. And We're here tonight to talk about supporting GPI and getting kids like her on the water and showing them how to connect in that way. I've got my own project going right now, up in the Arctic actually, speaking of paddling, all about connectivity. I'm paddling through the Northwest Passage, about 2,000 miles over 3 seasons, alone on a stand-up paddleboard. And this project is distilled connection. I was talking to somebody here a little while ago about all the other projects I've done in my life. There was this sense that it was a luxury to connect. It was a luxury, you know, I could choose to or not to connect with the ancestors and connect to the place. And I can tell you that paddling in the Arctic alone on a paddleboard, it's a requirement. It's a requirement. You won't survive unless you do. And those are the skills that we want to teach these kids. That's why we want to buy a $2,000 chainsaw tonight, because we want to get those kids out on the water. A few years ago, I had the distinct pleasure of having a couple of beers with Bill Anders. I don't know if anybody remembers that name, but he was an Apollo space mission astronaut, who's the man that risked the court-martial to take the blue marble photograph, right? And we got to sit and have a couple of beers, and it was really amazing to sit and talk with him. One of the first human beings to see the Earth hanging in space, right? And to have that visceral sense of how delicate this place is, right? And the point I'm trying to make tonight between that perspective of Bill Anders and the connectivity with nature is that if we're going to do anything about climate change, and if we're going to do anything about the environmental catastrophe that we have all brought on this planet, we need to get these kids outdoors. We need to teach them about connecting with this place and to give them that visceral understanding that this place is delicate and we better do something about it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carl. Really appreciate that. And also appreciate all of you here. There is a donut button, that would be cute. A donate button on KB, you can donate now. We're gonna have a really fun game after this next message from Oak. Where's Oak? Oh, here you are, Oak, coming down from the mountain to visit with us with a retrospective about GPI.
All right. Good, you all. Your meeting speaks more tonight. It's been, again, it's amazing it's been 9 years. We just think about it, like 9 years. We started out 9 years ago, and we ran in the wake of the slide, some of you in this room. We did a few programs. In the summer, we did out on the river, out sampling macroinvertebrates. And that was just a handful, like 2 programs, right? This past year, we ran over 400 programs. All these programs, yeah, it's like that is a lot. And the AmeriCorps in this room, our team in this room, it's like we built from that one individual into a team, over 400 programs. We ran, and all those programs are free for youth. Like, we don't charge anything. We found that that's a barrier. So it's not we're charging, we're trying to invest actively in our community. We had, in addition to that, we had over 150 work days, opportunities for young adults in our community to work with us and pay to do activities. That is huge. There were no work opportunities really within our community in the outdoors. And so if we start there and we come back to the slide, there's a piece here where the slide was the impetus for us beginning, but prior to the slide, the poverty of Darrington had risen by 50%. Special education rates had doubled, tripled. Our schools have been cut by a third in our upriver communities. The median household income had declined to around $35,000. It continues to decline today to $33,000 for a household. In Seattle, it's $105,000 for a household. In Washington State, it's $85,000. It's increasing elsewhere. So you have this system where it's, in a lot of ways, failing the community. And in the wake of the slide, the teachers came forth. You think about these rural kids who are surrounded by mountains. And you can see the pictures or activities. And they came forth and said the kids are no longer getting outside. And so that was a real impetus for us. We're like, how do we start? How do we do this? How do we serve our community? If you think of rural, such an identity piece of it is that hands-on activity piece. And that's where we began, is working with the middle school and then the elementary school. And we slowly grew this within Darrington. And as we grew it and we developed more programs, we started to develop some rafting programs, we developed biking programs. Our kids, you know, if you think about a kid, you think about access. If you look at, start breaking down into 3 areas. What does it mean for access for our kids? If you think about access, you have the land there, great. We face barriers to access where the kids may not have transportation. It's big school districts and concrete school districts. Some kids have to ride the bus for an hour plus one way. That's 2 hours a day. They may have access to land, but they may not have the clothes, the gear to go out. So that's the second piece of access. You got 1, proximity, 2, gear. They may not have, like, we're talking about future of these rural communities. So many times people are like, oh, the future of community is recreation. A lot of these kids can't afford a mountain bike when we're going, or don't have, maybe they can afford it, but they never have any way to get there. So we provide the bikes, we provide the shoes, the hiking boots. And then third piece of access, if we're looking at it, it's really easy to break it down, is into mentorship. And so within mentorship, you can have a bike if you don't know how to ride it. You can have a raft, but if you don't know how to row it. You can go pick plants, but if you don't know what is edible, a mentor to help you, it creates a huge barrier with how do you do it and how do you steward this resource. And so we began breaking all our programs into these 3 areas and seeing and creating access for our community and really growing it. And there's a piece here where I've gone through and I've hidden on your tables. There's the donate envelopes, but really I was using these as a way to get seeds to you all. So if you open these envelopes, if you're on the back and you're at the planters, you can dig in there at the planters, there you'll find a seed there. And you can start with, I got some more seeds if somebody wants Vegas seeds there, but you can start with the Douglas fir cone, right? And so here we have a Douglas fir cone. And if you hit it, or if you dig in there, you can go ahead and you will find a seed. And this is Douglas fir, you think about the Douglas fir. And then you can dig in here and you'll see just the smallest of these little, it looks like maple seeds, but these are actually Douglas fir seeds. You can go ahead and start in and see, and I've hidden them, yes, in the planters. I see some people looking. And they have wings there just like a maple. And that little seed is what grows into, it starts with that little seed and it grows into this big, huge Douglas fir that Darrington, Washington State is really known for. But it takes the right environment to really start growing. And we look at how we started with GPI, it wasn't a place without a lot of resources. And it was really hard to grow. You may not have had the stuff to fund that seed, to grow it, the nutrients to get in. It takes soil, it takes water, it takes sunlight. A lot of those seeds, but thinking about nonprofits in these rural communities or businesses that are starting, a lot of that element is not there. However, through the people in this room and a lot of the Darrington community coming together and concrete community now coming together, we've been able to provide the nutrients to grow that seed. It's been a difficult path for 9 years. And I would like to stop and just thank everyone once again, being part of this community. Your innovation and contributions have allowed us to grow this seed. And now it's still 9 years old. If it's had a lot of sunlight and water, it's somewhere up here. If it hasn't, it's somewhere down here, right? It's stunted, but it's growing. We're trying to get it some more so it keeps going up. So back to our current programs, where we're thinking we're growing this seed and stuff and putting in to give back and invest in our community. Our programs now, I was just talking with Mrs. Porch, and it was a piece I was going to hit on anyways, who's volunteer at the school. The majority of the seniors are required to do a senior presentation. And they're supposed to talk about what's impacting them. The majority of them are talking about how GPI is investing in these youth and in this community, providing opportunities that were not there, that mentorship. We're doing eDNA sampling. We're supporting outdoor botany pieces. We're out in the forest teaching them how to forage, but also how to learn from the forest itself. That has led this last year as well to us expanding into concrete, supporting the concrete school districts. Not only are we serving Darrington, concrete is in a lot of ways is a sister community, very similar in demographics. Very similar, cuts to schools by over a third. They lost their science coordinator. And so GPI's been able to step in through grants through Washington State this last year and fund an expansion into concrete. And it's been a struggle. Nothing goes smooth. Sometimes it doesn't, usually not smooth. And we've been able to provide programs for 1st through 6th graders there in the Concrete School District. And providing the science. The teachers have found us innovative. They love how we're able to combine the science with the outdoors and make it hands-on. The same things we're hearing back in Darrington. And they're asking us, they want us back this next year to come in and coordinate and do these pieces. So we're looking at how do we expand our support? How do we do more of these programs where the kids, you think about a lot of those times in education, that hands-on interactive piece, how can the kids have this? You see the teachers lighting up when we're out there and they're like, we're playing a bird sound, we're teaching them how to watch birds as part of the science curriculum, these pieces. And they're like, oh, I've been working my whole life, and they're probably 50, to try and figure out what that bird is. And it's a thrush, right? And you hear that sound down the woods. And so we're bringing stuff to the teachers as well and being able to enhance and invest in these communities where it's been, so much has been taken away over the last 30, 40 years. It is really an eye-opening experience. And we focus on really, how do we invest in the community itself to do it? And it's not as much about somewhere outside and coming in, but from grassroots from in the community, and that's what we're investing in ourselves. You can see some of the signs back here that are printed. This is in partnership with the Wilderness Society. We're looking at access to land. We're paying a local high school youth to go ahead and pay and print these, and it has it in, it's what it is, plant ID signs. It has it in English, has its scientific name, but then also has it in the local Soxhawk dialect. So we're bringing the culture, everything, and helping the kids start to see plants. Because you can start out, it's like seeing that Douglas fir, right? That seed. Anybody know? Some of you probably know foresters, but did anybody know that that seed was so small it starts out with the Douglas fir? And you just see the world a different way. It's the same thing when we teach them how to see plants and see these pieces, and we grow and we invest in the youth with opportunities. Amazing experiences. For this next year as well with recreation, we've also been able to invest. We've grown humbly. We've also been able to invest in other nonprofits, organizations in the area serving BIPOC, tribal, Latinx, low-income youth, and coming from a place where it is used to working and serving the Darrington population, which is amazing, but has a lack of resources. There is a cultural humility we have, where we really look, listen, and hear what they want and how to lead with them, how to lead them with them leading, and having that conversation, what that looks like. And having these same conversations about plant ID. You see, we're hiking with a group from Connect Casino Road of Latinx youth, and their eyes light up, the parents' eyes light up as we teach them about foraging and plants and things they can identify. So, in summary, we've done a lot in 9 years, and we've accomplished a lot. Looking forward to the future, we're hoping to keep growing and accomplishing more with connecting youth, community, and ecosystems. Your support today is that extra part of the ecosystem, the nutrients, helping us create this foundation, because no one else, and we look from California to Canada, for those borders who look for another rural community that's trying to solve these same struggles and problems, we haven't found it. And we believe that you here and ourselves and the work we're doing is the answer, and part of that major answer of how do we look to the future 1,000 years, as I mentioned at the beginning, and investment. So thank you so much. I really appreciate your all presence here tonight.
Oh, you did great. I can't wait to shed a little sunlight on this Douglas fir we got going. A 9-year-old Douglas fir, thinking about that and how old these trees are that surround us, and how what a moment we are in the speck of the earth. Okay, we are going to play a game. Like I said, we can't gamble, but we can make it fun to donate money to help get kids up the mountain. Brent is going to be my paddle entry clerk person. You ready to go? Do you want to, you have a good gander on the room. Okay, so what we're going to do is, do you want to start it? Are you starting it? Are you doing that? Okay, great. So why don't we get it started? This is called Fund a Need, where we have a specific thing that we're raising money for, so you can direct your donation. Everyone has a paddle. If you have your paddle, raise it right now. You're not giving money, you're just practicing. This is just a practice round. Look at that. We have some waving. I love the flamboyance. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we have different levels of different needs that we can fund. We're going to start at the $30 level, which is hiking for 1 one youth. So 30 bucks, remember kids don't pay a dime to do any of these programs. $30 gets them to hiking. So if anyone is willing to fund that need, please raise your paddle in the air. Okay, great. Brent, I'm gonna read them out to you. I think that's probably the easier, right? Okay, so we got 177. Thank you, 177. We've got 187. Thank you, 187. We got 190. Thank you, 190. Oh, 159. Thank you, 159. 105. We've got 105. Okay. Anybody ever? Is that you? Is that us? No. Okay. 164 up here. Thank you for your patience. 191. 191. Okay, and let's see. I can also see people. Okay, great. This is great. This is working well. I can see it on my thing. Oh, we have another one? 194. Thank you, 194. Appreciate you. Okay, anybody else? $30 hiking for one youth. Going. Okay, our next category is $60 to send one youth on a rafting trip. Imagine little Stefan from the video in a raft, maybe going overboard and learning some things. 159, thank you so much. 113, thank you. 183, thank you very much. 185, thank you. 171, thank you so much. Anybody else say, 163, thank you, $60, one kid in a raft because of you. Anybody else want to put a child in a raft? They don't have to go overboard, it's just something funny that happens. Okay. Anyone else? Last call, rafting for one youth? Okay, we're gonna move it to the next level, which is $216 for a day of mountain biking. This is a 6-hour program for 12 kids. It's a popular one, so we try to do it a few times this summer. So each of you donating helps to make a whole day of Stefans, of 12 Stefans. And hopefully none of them fall, but probably one or two of them are gonna fall, just statistically. Not wishing that on them, but wanting them to learn the lessons of getting up and dusting themselves off. Anybody? $216. 190. Thank you so much. Anybody else? 260. Oh, 165. Thank you so much. A whole day of kids mountain biking. Anybody else? Okay, we're gonna move it right along to the next item. It's $388 is a week of summer programs for one youth. This is literally a life-changing week of summer programs for $388. You would send that child and be responsible to really potentially changing the entire world by changing one kid's life. No pressure, but big opportunity. $388. Anybody? $388, a week of programming for one youth. $185. Thank you so much. Anybody else? $388 a week. $159. Thank you so much. I like the wiggle. The wiggle's nice. It's helpful. Okay. Anybody else? $388 week of programs for one youth. Okay. We are going to. Oh. Okay. Wait. No. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. I thought someone else pledged online, but it was here. Okay. Next up, we have $500 for canoeing. This is an 8-hour program for 20 youth. A lot of kids falling into the water. Again, it's popular, so they schedule this 3 times a year if we have the money, and canoeing includes towing the boats on a trailer and transporting the kids, so transportation is a big part of this. So it's $500 for a canoeing trip for 8 hours for 20 kids. Anybody out there want to get some kids in some rafts? $500? Anybody? Anybody? Bueller? Okay. They love it. They love canoeing. Okay. We're going to move it along to a really big ticket funding need. This is $6,100 for a week of rafting. This is 5 days of 8-hour day trips for 20 participants each day for 100 slots total. That's right, we can do this for $61 per kid because of our generous volunteers and a great outfitter that they work with. So your dollars are actually going a long way. $6,100 be the true hero to spend on a week of rafting for kids? Anybody? Week of rafting? Anyone online? Week of rafting? 1 week, 6,100. I think one person rafting for 1 week is really probably 6,100. Anybody else? Anybody? Okay, fun and neat is done. How fun was that? Thanks everybody for helping us out. Right now, just to check in on our progress on our fundraiser, we're at $41,958. This will bump up quite a bit once our silent auction is closed, which will happen after intermission. And very excited to see how that goes. Okay, let's see. I just want to let you know also that the savory items on the buffet are going to stay out and dessert will be added shortly, if not already. So if you're a sweets gal or sweets guy or sweets day them, it's available potentially. Hey Oak, are you ready to get these puns going again? Yes! Fundraiser! Okay, in this pun bracket, we are leveraging number 5 versus number 6.
All right, number 5. So here we have a picture of kindergartens. We have a greenhouse. We restored. There's a greenhouse in disrepair in Darrington. They weren't using it. They didn't have the bandwidth again. Cuts and cuts. So we restored this greenhouse in partnership with some funding from the Forest Service. And we have youth doing activities in it. And here we have kids going like this. An activity in the greenhouse learning about plants. It says, leave it to the kindergarten to understand so much about the parts of the plant, rooting for them as they flower into plant experts.
Yeah.
There's enough
There was a little bit of growing. There's a little bit of growing, which is good. Okay. So remember, you're thinking of your preference here and at home. Number 6. This is a photo of a youth sitting on a pretty big tree.
Yeah.
Right? They're hiking, I guess.
It's a hike in the rain. So they got a rain jacket. They're sitting in the roots of a tree, quad, hanging out. It's pretty cool.
It is a cool picture. Okay. Again, Glacier_Peak Institute on Instagram.com. Okay. This pun is on Friday. We rock and rolled all the way to Boulder River, where youth really took a liking to the various trees to see along the trail. We took nothing for granted and enjoyed every moment we could. So, right? Yeah. So we've got number 5, which is the various plant parts puns, versus number 6, which is the rock and roll boulder puns. Everyone in favor of number 5, give me a raised hand, give me some food and hollering. Okay. And in favor of number 6, raised hands, hootin' and hollering. Okay, I think 6 is winning in the room. How about online, Brent? Audience agrees. Okay, it is number 6, which is the winner of that one. Moving on to the semifinals. And our final pair, our final verses, number 7.
Oh, so here we have some pictures of skulls. So we'll do some skulls. We'll take them out. We'll talk about predator adaptations and where the eyes sit versus straight forward the predators sit versus on the outside the or prey species so that can sit. Anyways, bonjour. This week at Concrete Boys and Girls Club, youth were able to observe different types of pelts and furs. They all had a bone-chilling experience.
That was great, and I learned something every year at this fundraiser. I didn't know about the skulls and the eyes. Wow, brilliant. Okay, isn't nature cool? It takes thousands and thousands of years to adapt like that. Okay, number 8. It is a picture of, what's that mountain?
White Horse.
Of White Horse Mountain. And it says, do you have the time, spelled like the plant? I need to get somewhere around 3:00. Wait a minute. I beg your garden, but can you believe the 2023 plant sale is in less than 2 weeks? versus number 8. Number 7, bonjour, the bone jokes. And number 8 is the time and the plant jokes. Okay, so number 7, show of hands, applause, forward. Okay, number 8. Wow, okay, we're killing it. Okay, so how about online? 2 votes for number 8. So number 8 is the winner of this one, moves on to the semifinals. Thanks, Doug. Okay. Now we are going to move into everyone's favorite time, which is intermission, snack break. Get some snacks. You can come look at the fundraiser board if you'd like to. Take a photo, grab a beverage. Last chance for your silent auction items. So if you're really in some bidding, and folks online too, we're in a little bidding war. And if you want help with donating and everything else, you can ask a volunteer at any table. And we super appreciate you coming out. Please make a friend. Talk about what you like about GPI. How do you know Oak? 5 minutes left on the silent auction and 5 minutes left of intermission. Oh, and if you find a black Android cell phone, please give it to Ginger. Someone has lost a black Android cell phone. Thanks. to win. But you're going to have to check your options to make sure that you won what you wanted. And it is now my pleasure to get our programming rolling once more. And welcome to the stage, the Washington State Public Lands Commissioner. And I can say this as an individual voter in Washington State only, not representing the organization, but potentially, wait, is Oak looking for, did you find her? Okay, great. And I can say this as an individual voter only, but perhaps our future governor of Washington State, Hillary Fred. Thank you. Oh my gosh, thank you. I was just learning from Carl about how to be really brave and ballsy by getting on a paddleboard and paddling 2,000 miles, and everything I do every day is chicken compared to what you do. So it is a great, Bill, everybody, if you haven't donated, donate big. I can only say that as Hillary Franz, not in a political office, otherwise I'd be violating all laws. Thank you, Bill, for reminding me. Okay. Glacier Peak Institute is the best. All right. I just want to say it is a great honor to be here. And I can say this from a lot of fronts. One, I got to see Oak in action. I love that, Oak in action, right? Actually in Capitol Hill, in Olympia this year, fighting for funding for our kids to get them outdoors and get them in touch with nature to the tune, I think, of $7 million. Am I right? He was working those halls. So not only have I seen him on the landscape with our kids, but I've seen him in the halls of Olympia fighting for our kids and fighting for our future. And this is an organization worthy of every single dollar and every single volunteer. You know, I have the great fortune, thanks to so many of you and so many people in Washington State, to actually be able to literally walk every single landscape in the state, from our coastline to the Palouse, from our Ponderosa pines to our Douglas firs. Every single river and stream, as I oversee 6 million acres of land, from our aquatic lands, the oceans, the Pacific, Puget Sound, to the streams and the lakes and the rivers, to all of our forest lands and 1 million acres of agricultural lands. And I also have the great fortune of fighting wildfires in this state that we see is now starting as early as March and going well into November. Our agency every single year is on the front lines of climate change, and it is changing. Whether it's the context of increasing wildfires like we've seen year after year in every corner, and now 35% of our fires in the west side of this state. Or the context of dying forests, where we have 3 million acres in central and eastern Washington dying, but we're now seeing it literally in our Olympic rainforest. The context of ocean acidification that's impacting our shellfish beds and our salmon, as well as the context of drought and now dust storms on the 1 million acres that we manage. And we are truly fighting this gallant fight, thanks to all the work that our legislature and our governor has done, thanks to the work our agency, thanks to the work of all the nonprofit community, including our organization right here today, to really be on the front lines to actually helping restore our lands and our waters so that they are far more resilient to this rapidly changing climate. Those investments are making a difference every single day, not only in actually reducing these catastrophic fires, where just last year we had the lowest amount of acres burned, 170,000 acres burned, which is below the 10-year average of over 400,000 acres. It's a big change. It truly is. You should clap. It's my firefighters. It's my pilots. It's all of us. We made a huge stake in the ground that says we're going to restore the forest, 1 million acres of forest in 20 years, and we are now, we'll hit halfway to our goal in just 6 years. We will get there in 10 years because we're working at the pace and scale of wildfire. We are making that difference. And now with the investment the legislature just did as a result of Climate Commitment Act, we're going to be investing over $70 million in our forests in Washington State, because not only are we seeing the loss of our forests to wildfire and death and disease, it's to conversion. So just in the last 20 years, we've lost over 400,000 acres in Washington State to conversion, and we're slated to lose another 600,000 in the next 20 years. The evergreen state for the first time is less than 50% forested.
less than 50% forested, and it's only getting worse every single year. We're gonna put a stake in the ground and make the investments to keep the evergreen state evergreen. But I'm gonna tell you, the most important investment we can make isn't what we're doing in the lands and waters. The most important investment we can make every single day is actually in our children. Because everything we've done in Washington State, at the leadership level, local, state, and federal level, will be for naught if we haven't raised the next generation of children to care about nature, to understand nature, to get the science of it, to get the economics of it, to get the community element of it, right? And the fact is, we see it every day. Our kids, you go into a restaurant, you get on the bus, you get on an airplane, and what do they see? This. They don't look out the window in the airplane and go, look at all those forests down there. They don't look outside and get outside enough, right? And that connection, if you just think back to all of you who care about nature, think about that one moment in your childhood that made you care, that made you want to get into nature. I remember it. I was fortunate to grow up with ranchers, grandparents, and got to recognize spring cattle season, right, where the baby calves come out with some of the last ponderosa pines west of the Cascades on our family farm in Roy and Yelm. But I also remember that as a kid who couldn't afford outdoor school, and I grew up in Oregon, it was a requirement for every sixth grader, they had to be able to go to outdoor school. And I got to walk in nature, true forested nature of our Pacific Northwest. And it was then that I decided I was gonna be an environmental attorney. I was gonna stand up for the trees. As my kid says, who's the trees attorney? And I said, they have no money, so we all have to stand up for them. We all have to stand up for them. If you think back to that, I raised 3 boys on a farm. They're feral, trust me, they were very feral. I raised them on a farm where they spent 4 years in class, 4 hours a day in class, and the other 4 hours on the landscape. And it was there they learned creativity. They learned problem solving. They learned to get along. They learned about nature in their own eyes and their own mind without reading it in a book. The fact is, right now, more than ever, we have to be investing in the future, and that's investing in our kids getting out into nature. And there's an organization in this state that is having a mighty impact on our children and understanding the environment, understanding the community, and understanding the economy, and raising the next generation of scientists, foresters, policymakers, leaders, and governors that are going to change our world. And it's Glacier Peak Institute. And as I said to Oak, we need to expand Oak and his program far and wide across Washington State, and it starts with all of you guys doing your job tonight and spreading the word. Then I'm going to leave with one quote. Ralph Waldo Emerson, is my favorite quote, said, what would happen if the stars only came out every 1,000 years? Just think about that. If the stars came out only 1,000 years. Now, we all kind of know what that looks like, right? Because we all remember the total eclipse where everybody traveled from all over the world, from, the eastern seaboard of the United States to the western seaboard. They sat in cold ice and cold nights and dry, hot deserts to see one moment in time that they knew no one else would never happen any other time in their lifetime. And they took photos and they shared it back home, right? The fact is, if every 1,000 years the stars came out, we would all turn off our TV. We'd all turn off our computer. We'd all get off our phones. We'd all go outside and just stare at the night sky all night long so we could tell our children and our grandchildren about it, right? Awe and wonder of nature. And the fact is, as a mom now whose last baby went away, I'm now empty, children are gone, I realize that our children are just like that moment of every 1,000 years that the star came out. Tonight, when you put your kid in bed, you put your grandson or you talk to your grandchild, right? It's a moment that is as special as if the stars only came out every 1,000 nights. And we need to start to treat our children that way, that they are wonder and awe that must be protected and cared for, and we must get them outdoors and seeing that awe and wonder and bring it back to us who've seen it so many times we forget how special it is. So, to Glacier Peak Institute, you guys are amazing! Thank you what you do! Thank you all! Thank you!
Thank you so much for supporting GPI, and Hillary, thank you for leveraging your freedom as an empty nester to help lead Washington to get a little bit better. I would like to thank the GPI Board of Directors that are here. We've got Dan Rankin, our board president, and yes, relation to Oak. Katrina Haywood, the treasurer, Catherine Brown, Samantha Chang, Angelina Ngari, and Gavin Gladjo. So thank you all for being here, for your work, supporting GPI behind the scenes, and fundraising, and all of the amazing things that you do. And I would like to bring up to the stage Samantha Chang from the board to deliver and connect. There you are. Hi. Woo.
Hillary and I must have been catching the same wavelength. We're going to talk about some of the same things. Good evening. My name is Samantha Chang. I'm a member of the board of directors for GPI. I got to the outdoors in a roundabout way. Figuring out how I got here physically and professionally takes some reaching back in memory. When I was growing up as a Chinese American kid in the suburbs of LA, there wasn't anyone we knew who went hiking or camping, and there weren't any groups for girls that did stuff like that. The Girl Scouts back then just sold cookies and you had to wear a skirt, and I didn't want to do either one of those. But my older brother joined the Boy Scouts, and a couple of his friends who were also like big brothers to me joined. And my dad helped chaperone the camping trips, so I got to tag along. I remember bringing along a guidebook to desert plants on trips out to Joshua Tree. That was one of the nearest areas for us. And trying to understand yuccas or ID wildflowers on my own while the boys were out rock climbing. I was fortunate that we had a 5th grade outdoor school camp in the San Bernardino Mountains. And from that, I have very strong memories still from those 5 days. I remember being homesick. I also remember a counselor pointing out the stars and the constellations at night. You can't see a lot of stars through the air pollution in LA. And if you're thirsty, you can suck on a manzanita berry to keep your mouth from getting dry. There were wild grapes near a creek. We got to taste little apples that were growing on an old tree left on a homestead site. That might have been the beginning of realizing, for me, that there's food there out in nature, and the start of my interest in eating as much of it as I can catch, shoot, or forage. The way to my heart is through my stomach. I'm Chinese, we eat everything but the oink. My dad's always had a love of fishing in the ocean, and I'd go saltwater fishing with him. We still go every now and then. Some days, out in the ocean or on the river, you see the strangest things. On the saltwater, dolphins that accompany your boat on the way out and the way back in. I remember one time being anchored up and seeing a humpback whale rise up right alongside the boat, just a few feet away, and it tilted its head and looked at me. One day there was a school of sunfish, a couple feet wide, a piece like this, just basking at the surface of the water. So this was also lucky, to learn at a young age a sense of wonder, and that if you get out there, you can be surprised by unimaginable things and beauty. When Oak invited me to join the board, I was glad to be able to support the work GPI does to give kids the chance for a direct connection to nature. Whether it's through volunteer-led Forest Fridays or going squid fishing or learning the names of native plants and trees, just getting them outside to see, hear, and feel can be such an important and life-changing thing. For me, those very few experiences led me to a degree in forestry, 20 years of service caring for public lands in the U.S. Forest Service, and leadership in the Society of American Foresters today. I recently read a quote from Plutarch. "The mind is not a vessel to be filled, but a fire to be kindled." I hope you'll join me in supporting the work GPI does for kids in our communities, and thank you those of you who have been there the whole way or have joined more recently, for your contributions as donations and as volunteers for GPI programs. We couldn't do it without you. Thank you.
Oh, are you around? Is okay? Oh, it's time for this. Yes. Okay, over here, it's number 1 versus, what's the other one? Do we know? Oh wait, no, it's not 1 and 2. It's 1 and 3. Okay, it's number 1 versus number 3. Do you want to read number 1, the pun? Okay, remember you're voting.
Oh,
We're doing 1 versus 3. This is our semifinal round.
All right. Okay, here we go. So, it comes back to the mushroom one. Why wouldn't you want me in your front lawn? I'm a fun guy, and I don't take up much room.
Okay, it's a good one. Versus number 3. Do you ever try to think of a fish pun and just flounder? Well, the bait is over. We weren't gonna leave it to salmon else. Okay. So the votes for number 1, the mushroom joke. Votes for number 3, the fishing thing. Fish stuff. Oh, I feel like one took it in the room. How about online, Brent? Number 1 moves on to the final round. And then what were our other ones? I probably could have written it down, but I can't see.
It is
6 versus 8. Okay. Number 6 I will read. On Friday, we rock and rolled all the way to Boulder River, where youth really took a liking to the various trees we see along the trail. We took nothing for granted and enjoyed every moment we could. Versus number 8.
number 8 is the garden one. Do you have the time? I need to get somewhere around 3 o'clock. Wait a minute, I beg your garden. But can you believe the 2023 plant sale is in less than 2 weeks? Have you bought any plants lately?
Okay. At least they make me less. Okay. We've got number 6. Hoot and holler for number 6. We're rock and rolling. Okay. Number 8. The botany jokes. The plant sale. Okay. It's getting in the room. How about online, Brett? No votes. They're not leveraging their influence. Number 8 goes to the finals. And we'll bring it back. Next up, we have a video. Yeah. Angelina, you're doing a great job managing a pun board and videos. Okay, so our video is from the Outdoor Club, and it's 2 high school students who participate in Outdoor Club and after-school activity through GPI. Remember, they didn't start with high school. This is more things we've added. These activities are funded with support from donors like you. Please welcome to the virtual stage, Chris and Cadence.
And I'm a junior, 17 years old. I'm from Darrington High School. My name is Cadence Hewart, and I am a junior, 17 years old.
Hello, I'm Christopher Kimball. I'm 18, a senior at Darrington High School. I first got involved with GPI when I heard that they needed mountain bikes fixing and general equipment repair, something that I'm fairly good at.
I first got involved with GPI when I took the chance to join our outdoor club. I'm really glad that the outdoor group has really had a chance to work with GPI. They're a really great necessity for us. I like how flexible they can be. Always, whenever we ask, they always jump to it, and we always have the opportunity to do whatever we want, almost at whatever time. It's really flexible.
What I enjoy about GPI is the general relaxedness. There's no competition, and everybody's fairly happy most of the time. GPI has been helpful to me by providing after-school activities and other general recreation for those off days when I don't have homework and I just need something to do.
GPI group, I believe, helped me maybe learn how to enjoy nature, maybe a little bit more, or maybe in different ways, different hobbies. I mastered skiing, well, maybe not mastered, but got much better at skiing, and mountain biking also. I think it's helped me with planning too, being able to plan my own trips to enjoy nature outdoors. My favorite activity with GPI has to be going skiing. I was able to work my way all the way up to Black Trails on Mount Baker, and I had an absolute blast with all of everyone.
Honestly, I think my favorite memory with GPI was my first time snowboarding, and I completely wrecked it, but my GPI members were there to help me, and overall I wasn't too embarrassed. I always look forward to group mountain biking trips and hiking, but the longer backpacking trips, I really do honestly look the most forward to.
I'm looking forward to a backpacking trip. We're planning for June. It's either going to be a 2 or 3 day backpacking trip. We're going to camp 1 or 2 nights. It's going to be a blast. We're going to go around Meadow Lake and Meadow Mountain. It's going to be really fun. It's important for people to support GPI because they can help all of the youth around Washington everywhere. No matter who you are, where you come from, or even how much money is in your bank, they give you all the opportunities in the world to be able to enjoy the outdoors. And that's why you should join GPI.
GPI provides equipment and opportunities to people of all places and communities that simply wouldn't be possible without funding or support to GPI. So if we want to continue to help people get outside and learn, we should support GPI. Yes, GPI includes all members of the community. Wherever you come from, you are welcome. And as long as you follow the rules, we hope you'll have fun with this.
I'm glad that I could spend so much time with the people in GPI and the wonderful people in our outdoor club. I think it's given me a new sense of the world around me and how to enjoy myself in my world around me.
Okay, it is now, thank you, Outdoor Club. We'd love to see it. I'm excited for their backpacking trip. Dan Rankin, are you in the house? Here you are. Welcome to the stage. Fresh from the coronation, Dan Rankin. He left his cape at home.
As in the history of Glacier Peak Institute, I'm here to do the ask, right? And, I want to thank Hillary, where did she go? For, queuing this up, and for me to try to compete with that is not going to happen. So Glacier Peak is now 9 years old, 7 years of being an actual nonprofit. Our history is seated in creating outdoor education spaces in the Darrington school system. It could not happen in the school system, so we did it ourselves. In this last 6 months, we've been invited by the Port of Portland to actually create curriculum for outdoor education and stewardship forestry for community college throughout our region. That's the impact of Glacier Peak. Really, is reaching out and across the Pacific Northwest. And that's where your dollars come in. We can't do this alone. We've got to have all of us participate in philanthropy, in investing, and being part of the greater community that we call the Pacific Northwest. And, you know, that brings wealth to all of us. It gives us wealth to our future. It gives us wealth in our souls to make sure that the next generation of our Northwest population has not only our forests, our streams, our oceans, but have the tools to foster, to steward, and to be the shepherds of their next generation. We have to look that far in the future as we act now about climate change and our environment. And so, Dig Deep, coming up, I think next, is North Mountain Lookout.
Yes, North Mountain.
Yeah, and that one is complicated, so I'm not, you know, I'm not the person to introduce that one because it's one of those games, escalating things, whatever. But so Dig Deep now, and North Mountain Lookout. I have personal experience with the folks that were here last year and won that 2-night stay, and nothing short of phenomenal. So good luck to you all. Have a good night, and thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting Glacier Peak Institute and the future of the Pacific Northwest. Thank you.
Okay, I just want to clarify, this is an important clarification, that the prize is a 1-night stay, but the people who won it last year added another night. So, just FYI, it's a 1-night stay at North Mountain Lookout. Okay, for those of you who don't know what this North Mountain Lookout is, it's a fire tower that has been converted into a hospitality place. You still have to walk up a lot of stairs, so there is some accessibility notes about the stay. But it's a great prize to support a great cause. Okay, wait, let's see. It's North Mountain Lookout in Darrington, Washington. And for those of you who've never been to Darrington, just so you know, it's there, so you get to know what all the hype is about. It includes fantastic views of the entire valley and the surrounding mountains. And the winner will have these options for choosing their night in the lookout. July and August, a date in September or early October, or postpone to 2024 and have your pick of any date. So there's some options, there's some flexibility. Here's how you win. This is one of those, we can't gamble, but we can sure play games. So what we're gonna start out is, it's a game of luck to be the last one standing. So it's the last person who donates. So we have different levels that you're gonna donate at. You're gonna wave your paddle. Brent is gonna put you into the magic computer thing that makes it all work. And then the last person who donates wins the prize. So the idea is you just keep adding to your donation, right? So it's additional donations. It's not an option. This is not a standard option. Okay. There's only one prize. We're going to start low and increase. And all you're doing is holding your place in line. So if you're the most recent person, you might win it, but someone else can squeak in there, right? Okay. Does that make sense? Yeah? No. Great. Let me explain it again. For those of you for who it already makes sense, you can dissociate for a minute. Okay. So it's a game of luck to be the last person who donates. So I'm going to start at the $150 level. You'll wave your paddle. We'll put you in. And if you're that last person who donates at the next level, then you win. So you have to be the last person who donates. So the idea is that this is your digging deep moment, and it's playing a game, and it's fun, and it's a great prize. Do you understand? Okay. I want a consensus of understanding.
How about a practice?
A practice. Oh, great idea. Let's practice. Okay. So I'm going to say we're just going to start at $150. I'll say who wants to donate $150 to GPI. You'll raise your paddles. Yeah, 190, 185, 193, right? And I'll check it with Brent. He'll be putting them in, right? And then so the last one in that practice round would have been 193, who will get the night at North Mountain. I'll change the increment to 200. Someone at 190 can swipe right back in there and be that next donor, right? And be the last person last hero standing. Okay.
So are you paying at each level?
You're paying at each level. This is like, if you had cash, you're just throwing $200 in a bucket. So you are paying, this is where you're digging deep, but having fun while digging deep. Or you can just write a big check, and that is okay too. You don't want to play our games. But we wanted to make it fun. It's a fundraiser, right? Yeah, okay. And a fundraiser, first annual. Okay. Any more questions about Last Hero Standing? Do you pretty much understand that if you raise your paddle, you're giving money? Yeah, okay, great. We can do it. I have to turn on, sorry, my iPad just keeps turning off. So, you know, showbiz. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Are we starting the game? Are you on it? Are we at level 1? Okay. It's not showing it on my thing. Is it work? But it's working for you. If you tell me what the level is. We're at 150. Who wants to donate $150 to get these kids up the mountain? Paddle number 114. Paddle number 185. Paddle number 190. Thank you. Anybody else want to donate $150? Oh, paddle 161. Thank you. Appreciate you. That was a very casual. You're good at this. I can tell you're practiced. Okay. Anybody else at the 150 level? Oh, paddle number 189. Thank you for your donation. The current last hero standing. Okay. Any more donations at the 150? Oh, 187. Thank you, 187. Okay, Lauren, let's raise it to the next level. We're now at 200. Who wants to donate 200 towards getting these kids? Paddle number 159, thank you. Anybody else? $200. Oh, paddle number 190. You are the current last hero standing. You're going to get in that fire tower. Anybody else? A unique stay, one of a kind. Imagine the selfies. That's all I'm going to say. If you're selfie identified. Okay. Anybody else? Let's raise it to the next level, see if we can dig deeper. We're at 250. Does anyone want to donate $250 towards getting these kids up this mountain? 163. Thank you so much. 190. Holding that last hero. Appreciate you. Anybody else at the 250 level? Do you want to fight back? You're like, maybe not. Okay, 190 is still our winner towards our last hero. Let's raise it to the next level. 300, we're at the $300 level. Anyone want to donate to get these kids up this mountain at the $300 level? Anybody? 190 is still our last hero. Oh, 172, thank you so much. 190, thank you for playing our game and for really wanting this. Yes. Okay. 190 is our still present last hero. Anybody else want to nudge it up? 300? We're at 300. Okay, great. 300. I usually have a visual. Okay. Let's raise it up. 350. We're at the 350 level. Anybody want to donate $350 towards getting some kids in some rafts and maybe falling out of the rafts, which again is funny. As long as nobody dies. Nobody's dying. It's they all water safety certified. Life jackets, that's right. At the 350 level, anybody? 163, thank you so much. 190, I love this. This is really fun. Oh, thank you so much. Anybody else want to play this game? 350? We're donating for the kids. Okay, we're gonna raise it up to our last level. 400! Okay. Anybody for 400? Imagine how many kids could fall out of a raft for 400. I don't know why I keep returning that joke. It just seems fun. Yeah. Okay. Anybody? 400? 400? Okay, I'm about to declare our last hero. If nobody else wants to bid at the 400 level and pop it up, or donate. It's donating, it's not bidding, it's donating. Okay, going once, going twice. Our last hero standing, paddle number 190, thank you so much! Congratulations, Darcy! Thank you so much for your generosity! I hope you wear your cape up the mountain. And also special thanks to the North Mountain Lookout Friends for donating that night. It was so fun! Thanks, Carson!
Yeah! Boy, I want to go down there and give her give you a hug and a kiss when my wife is here.
Wow.
This is so motivating, and this is fantastic. Yeah, what the reason that Dan spoke about too is because Darcy's so motivated about this that she came to us and said, "Hey, can we rent a second night?" We said, "Absolutely. That's right. You totally deserve that." So Darcy, the opportunity's open again. All right, the other summer's open again, and I think that we should open this opportunity again, Devin.
Again?
Again. I think we should do it again. But not the same game.
No, different game. That game was. We could have more enthusiasm with a different game.
I could tell that some people are probably disappointed after having done such a great job of supporting GPI to walk away empty-handed when there is so much North Mountain to give. So let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do another night.
We're going to do another night. And you know how we're going to do it this time? An old-fashioned auction. Just like bid your paddle, we're just going to raise it up. We're going to see how we do. We're going to start at $25. What a basic amount of money to pay for a once-in-a-lifetime stay at the North Mountain Lookout. So this is just an auction. You're not donating, but we're going to see how much we can get for this additional night at the North Mountain Lookout. I'm starting at $25. Nobody told me what I would start at, so that's where I'm starting. 114 at $25. Do I see $50? Does somebody want to bid $50? I see $50 in the back. Don't even have a paddle. Don't need it. I'll just hit you up at the end. $50 in the back. Can I see 75? 75. Paddle 105 over here.
Do these add up, or is it just?
This is just an old-fashioned auction. So this is not a donation. This is literally, I mean, you can if you want, but like, this is just how much are you willing to spend? Because the Friends of North Mountain were like, let's do another night. Let's make some more money for the kids. So we're at $100. Can I see $100? 183, 125, 186 in the back. Can I get 150, 187 right here? Okay, can I see 175? Paddle 172, thank you so much. Can I get $200 for a once-in-a-lifetime date night, perhaps? Take the grandkids, be a hero. Okay, 188 in the back, you're at 200. 225, who wants 225? I see you, Brent. Thanks, Brent. 225. 250? 250, imagine the selfies. Imagine the once-in-a-lifetime memories. Darcy can attest, Darcy loved it. Oh, Darcy's one, thank you, for 250, Darcy. True hero. Can I see 275? 275? You couldn't even get it on Airbnb for $275. I don't know what's on Airbnb. Oh, 172, thank you. Okay, can I get $300 for this once-in-a-lifetime North Mountain Lookout, one night, beautiful views, imagine the sunset, 300. 300, okay. 275 going once. 275 going twice. Oh, 300 and paddle 105. Way to go. Okay. Can I get 325? 325 for a night at North Mountain Lookout. chainsaw. $360 for a night at the North Mountain Lookout. Anybody? Okay, we're at $325. Going once. Oh, I see. Paddle 188 there for $360. Okay, got a lot of people interested, and I'm gonna raise it to $400. Can I get $400 for this night at the North Mountain Lookout? Go 400? Question. Okay, 360 going once, going twice. It's yours! Send me those Hey, what was the paddle number again? 188? Which paddle? 188. Lauren's gonna put it in your total and make it easy on the back end. Hey, Carson.
Hi, Bevan. I've got a great story. Everybody's going to love to hear about our winner, Cameron.
Oh.
I had no idea this
That
young
Cameron.
man that his name is Cameron. Congratulations, Cameron. You joined a special group of people. People who stayed on that lookout. I was Cameron's scoutmaster 15 years ago, and we had no idea we would be here tonight. I knew him in Maryland. And here he is, supporting CPR. Yeah!
All right, please for Cameron. I was actually scheming about our old-fashioned auction when he realized who that was, and Carson just got up and bolted. It was really precious and sweet. Okay, we did our last hero. Y'all, we're winding down, but I think you know. I think you feel in your heart that the fundraiser is not yet over because we haven't yet crowned the winning hunt. Angelina, it's number 1 versus 8, right? The mushrooms versus. Yes. Okay.
So just so you're aware, like the puns, our staff put a lot of time making these puns coming up. This is a very serious competition. There's a lot riding on this for some people, so think about that.
Okay. Number 1.
Number 1. Oh yeah, here we go. Why wouldn't you want me in your front lawn? I'm a fun guy, and I don't take up mushroom.
Versus number 8. Do you have the time? I need to get somewhere around 3 o'clock. Wait a minute, I beg your garden, but can you believe the 2023 plant sale is in less than 2 weeks, and that is a real story. Have you bought any plants lately? Bought any plants? Okay. So, number 1, vote and hoot and holler. Okay, versus number 8. I don't know.
All right.
Let's do it again. Number 1. Versus number 8. How about online?
We're good.
We're good. Okay. I'm going to call for number 8. I felt like that was the most serious. Isn't it Dalton? Dalton! Dalton, over there! Get in the pit there! Dalton's one of our CPI folks who runs food and healthy eating programming.
Nutrition and greenhouse gardening.
Nutrition and greenhouse gardening. Way to go. Congrats, Dalton. Thanks for your cleverness for GPI. Okay. Now, we've crowned the best pun, and I'm going to remind you all that you're going to check out. There are volunteers that can help you check out. But before that, Oak is going to say goodbye to you and give you the upcoming events for GPI. And I also want to remind you, if you won a silent auction item, to go and pick it up as part of the checkout process. Why ship an expensive bottle of wine when you can just carry it home, right? So we're going to make sure to do that. Oh, you're back. And you're going to remind them of the upcoming events and think of movie.
All right, so upcoming events, we have, first off, our plant sale, in case you get that, we already did the dates. Second off, we have a kickoff of our summer programs on June 14th, where we up in Darrington. That afternoon, we'll have a barbecue and kickoff celebrating our summer programs. And lastly, we also run a support Washington State University Extension, and that partnership's been going on for a number of years with a military teen adventure camp. In that military teen adventure camp, if you have a youth that qualifies, you can apply for it, but we also need more volunteers to support that camp in itself. And that is July 12th through 16th and July 17th to 21st. So if anyone wants to volunteer, you can go ahead and get a hold of us and reach out. Lastly, thank you so much for joining us tonight. This is a small band of volunteers and community that really puts this on in grassroots. So I'd like to give a round of applause to our organizing committee. If you can go ahead and just raise your hand who's volunteering. A lot of work is going into organizing tonight. And thank you, everyone.
I would also love to thank Chef Amy Belknap, who I don't think is in the room, but made this amazing food and was wearing the cute pink chef coat. And Scott Fisher, her assistant. I'd also like to thank Scott Morris for being our opening music, which is so beautiful. And once again, thanking the fundraiser committee and all our volunteers and GPI staff. It really does take a village to put on a fundraiser. And our special guests, Carl Kruger and Hillary France. Like, what an iconic and amazing event. But mostly, I want to thank all of you for being here, because without you, a fundraiser is just us talking to each other and not making money for the kids. So really appreciate all of your generous donations. Please make sure that you check out. We have this online payee software, and it is as easy as writing a check or swiping a card. You can see Ginger. Ginger, really, special shout out to Ginger, who really